he's giving me the resistance here. Like, he's not letting me come down and sweep around. He's shutting that down right there. So I'm going to first one, push, and then it's right down. So you see how that already starts the body? Right here. Okay, time! We got single stick? All right, so circle around whenever you can get the best view, okay? So we've been talking about disarms. Specifically, we've been talking about outside disarms, and we've been talking about when to use which outside disarms, and specifically looking at like when the person gives us resistance, right? There's usually like when we get resistance, we'll get resistance at the 12 o'clock. If we think of this as a clock, like this would be 12 for me, right? So we have 12 o'clock resistance. We have 3 o'clock resistance, because this would be 3 over here for me, right? We have 6 o'clock resistance we've talked about so far, right? So first, let's look at the first 2 positions. So I think we had 6 disarms that we looked at so far in the first 2 positions, correct? So if I just take this off the blitz, right? The first one is just looking at the quick release, right? And that quick release is specifically because he's giving me the resistance here. Like, he's not letting me come down and sweep around. He's shutting that down right there. So I'm going to put the first one there. Second variation we had of that, we came here and we just took it to the outside and sent it flying instead. Third variation we had of that was when the hand came underneath for the shot, right? Fourth variation we had of that was now the wrist reversal strip. So when we talk about the differences, when we're talking about quick releases, for you guys that haven't seen this, quick releases are like opposing forces, okay? So like when this comes in, oops, sorry, I have to do this. When I bring this here, see the pull, we all know that we need to get the pull, we need to get outside that hand, but he gives me the resistance, so what I'm doing here is I'm pulling this direction towards me while I bend that hand to help open up the tendons a bit. Make sense? So it loosens the grip, which allows me now to push straight down with my puño for this shot, okay? Same idea, if I come to this direction, it's the exact same thing. So I'm just pulling in separate directions. Versus a wrist reversal strip, which is a little bit different. Here, I saw Mary. Where's Mary? She's right here. Right here. Can I do the thing? All right. You good?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Tell me which way to lay.
First one, we're going to take you right to your belly.
Yes, sir.
Just so you know, so you don't get an accidental like hyperextension. Okay. So when we're talking about wrist reversals, I take this from like back when I used to do Hapkido. And when I used to do Hapkido, we had a takedown that kind of went this direction like this. I call it a wrist reversal takedown. Basically, you're taking the wrist and you're going reverse. You're going the opposite direction, so it helps open up the hand. Initially, this was done a little bit like this. Oh, and I lost it. You're so sweaty. And then eventually, you saw variations of it where they would take someone down to your back. And they get here, and they would like, use the shin to flip them. You right?
Yep.
Definitely sweated today. I think you're sweating.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Or my favorite is to come around this direction like this. Okay? Those are all different versions of a wrist reversal we can play with. So I'm just going to use this same principle, and I'm going to use it for my disarms. So now, when I run this disarm, right, I do the same. I push forward. So instead of pulling and pushing to get the ejection, everything goes forward. See that? Once this is in that elbow grip, this is going to give me a nice little takedown all the way here. You don't have to take each other all the way to the ground today. I don't want to see people rip their shoulders out. But what I do want to see is that as we move forward, look how the hand opens up as I go in this direction. See that? See the hand open up? And all I'm looking to do is take my forearm and come right to her forearm. So I push and then it's right down. So you see how that already starts the body? Right here. You guys see that? Yes, sir. Are your shoulder good?
Yes, sir.
And then here's your lock. Right here on the shoulder. You see that? So, 3 quick releases, 1 wrist reversal strip. Thank you, ma'am. Matt. Then we talked about what if it goes to the 3 o'clock position. Right, where it gets to here, but I can't go any further. That's when we talked about going to the outside strip. Right? And with that outside strip, we want to make sure we open the thumb, get the latch for the pop. But then there was another one we talked about, which is the outside vine. And that's if I miss with the thumb. I'm just going to slip it around, pull out, and now basic power 4 or heaven 6 or whatever you guys want to follow up with. So this is 6 we've been covering for the last couple of weeks. I don't expect especially if you're new, to get all of those. However, what I would expect, if you haven't seen one of those, or if you're visiting tonight, that anybody that has been here for the last couple of weeks learning these can definitely help you with one of those. I don't expect you to get all 6 of those. Does that make sense? It's just a review for those that have been there. We're gonna introduce some new ones. Cool? All right, let's do it. Thank you, Matt. Give Matt a hand. Give Matt a hand.